Hello everyone. So there are lots of good reviews about the Mungyo Gallery oil pastels. They are nicely pigmented, very soft and creamy, and the best part is that all this quality comes for a very reasonable price. So I was recently asked whether it's worth spending on high-end oil pastel brands like the Sennelier if you can get close to the same quality with mid-range oil pastel brands like the Mungyo. In this video, I'm going to do a comparison of the two brands and let's see how each brand performs in each of these categories that I have laid out. Let's start with the price. The Sennelier 120 color set is close to 300 US dollars. This means you spend more than $2 per stick. The Mungyo 72 color set is about 65 US dollars, which means it's barely about $1 per stick. I have seen so many bargain prices for the Mungyo set, so there's a chance that you can get them even cheaper as well. I think Mungyo is less than half the price of the Sennelier. Moving on, next we have Pigment Quality. Sennelier is very well pigmented and super rich in tone. You just need a little smidge of pastel to cover a wide area. Mungyo is also nicely pigmented. I was surprised the first time I used Mungyo because the colors are very opaque, creamy and well pigmented. But I did notice that some colors in the Mungyo set are somewhat dull and bland when compared to Sennelier. Especially the reds look more like pinks than reds. I'm not too sure whether you can see that clearly through the camera, but it's very visible to the naked eye. Moving on, next up we have layering. Layering with Sennelier is a little bit tricky because these pastels are super creamy. If you try to apply too many layers on top of each other without giving enough time for each layer to harden, you're gonna end up in a bit of a mess. So Sennelier is best used for the final touches of an acrylic or a dried oil painting. You don't get this effect that much in Mungyo because these pastels are less creamy and more easily workable in layers. Next we have blending. Sennelier is definitely softer and creamier, but I have no complaints about Mungyo either. Both apply very smoothly and evenly on the paper. Both have a very soft feel to them and they deposit pigment very easily. However, Mungyo is a little bit crumbly and they tend to break off. And you get an effect like this. I have never seen this happening with Sennelier. I think this is because Mungyo oil pastels are harder than Sennelier, and harder oil pastels have been created with more binder and they tend to get a little bit crumbly. Alright, next we have durability. You might know that oil pastels dry out and harden with time. I haven't had the Mungyo set with me for a long time. My guess is that they have a shorter shelf life than the Sennelier. Again, this is because Mungyo has been created with more binder and will probably dry out faster. Next, let's see how these pastels look when they are applied on the paper. I honestly don't see a huge difference here, but generally speaking, paintings done by Sennelier oil pastels have a more professional oil painting look about them. A Mungyo is not too bad, but they don't look as painterly as the Sennelier. Unfortunately, I don't have the same painting done by both pastel brands to do a fair comparison here, but if you take a closer look at these, you'll probably notice the difference. Now, this might not be that much of a concern if you are a hobbyist or a student, but if you're a professional artist, this might be important to you. Next up, we have lightfastness. Lightfast means that the paintings done by this medium are archivable. Archivable paintings can last a long time without losing their original quality. Sennelier is definitely Lightfast. I have had paintings done by these pastels that have been sitting on an open shelf for years without fading or losing their quality. It is said that Mungyo is also Lightfast, but Mungyo haven't made any claims about lightfastness in their pastel box or the brochures. I don't know about Mungyo. I'm just gonna say that I didn't know. Next, let's see the range of colors each brand offers. Sennelier offers 120 different colors, whereas Mungyo only goes up to 72 colors. So out of the 120 in Sennelier, 10 are iridescent colors and you get a blender and about 4 to 5 repeats. For example, my 120 Sennelier box has 3 whites and 2 dark green shades. So that's about 5 pastels but just 2 colors. I would leave out about 12 colors for the iridescent, the blender and the repeats. Even then, Sennelier has about 35 more colors than the biggest Mungyo pastel box. So Sennelier definitely gives you a wider range of colors to select from. Let's move on to packaging. If you take even the smallest Sennelier color set, you'll notice that pastels are well protected. They won't move around even if you tilt the box. So it's perfect for traveling. Mungyo on the other hand comes in a very flimsy cardboard box. It's not good for traveling at all. You'll have to change the packaging when you're traveling. The Mungyo 72 color set comes in a wooden box. Even then the pastels are very loosely packaged. Another finer detail I noticed is in the wrappings. When the pastels are used up to the wrapping, in Mungyo you kind of have to pick away at the wrapping in this very cumbersome way. More often than not, you're gonna damage the pastel or get pastel all over your fingernails. Sennelier has a very neat solution for this. They already have these little marks on the wrappings. All you need to do is just lightly pull from one side and it comes off just like that. These might sound like nitty-gritty details to some of you. I have experience with both brands and I personally found this to be very convenient about the Sennelier oil pastels. This is what we have in the list. Sennelier is a clear winner here, although I must say that this is not a very fair comparison because Sennelier is a very high-end pricier brand. The purpose of this video is to see whether it's worth spending on Sennelier at all if you can get close to the same quality using Mungyo. And my conclusion is that yes, Sennelier is probably the best your money can buy. But if you're a hobbyist or a student who just wants to play around with your pastels, or you just don't want to spend that much on a pastel box, or you just don't like Sennelier because they're too creamy and they don't layer well, then I guess Mungyo is probably the best in the mid-range oil pastel market. But make sure you ask for Mungyo artist quality soft oil pastels. That's what's being reviewed in this video. Alright, so that's about it with this video. Please do subscribe to my channel and stay updated on latest videos. And thanks for watching this and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.